Hello, everyone. Hello, it's Michelle Howe. It shows I'm working, but the computer's working. But I believe I'm live. Um, how are you? My name is Michelle Howe. I am a standout member here, and I'm coming to you today because I scheduled to share something. And when I sat down to brainstorm what this would be, because my mind is always coming up with wisdom and teachings that I want to share with other people, um, it came up to blind spots that I have had, and then I know other people have had. And it's funny because I didn't necessarily see them as blind spots until I was teaching Tuesday night. I have a program that I teach empaths and people that are on the spiritual path and people that just want to really step into their evolution. And discernment was a topic, and projection and entanglement and reflection, the ways that we interact with other people. And as I put together these teachings, I always learn so much that I didn't even know was in this little vessel of mine here. So my point to you today is, if you're here, please let me know you're here. um, Tell me where you're from. Let yourself be heard, because this topic is really, 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 really huge. Hello. Will it be in my best interest to relocate to Canada? Okay. Um, I am not going to tell you that because you already know the answer to that. So, my background, who I am, I'm the founder of Empath Evolution. I'm a healer. I'm an intellectual. I was a businesswoman for many years, CPA, consultant. Then I got into a little bit of the intuitive, the psychic, the healer side of me, and the empath side came out. And so I want each of you to know that it's not just happening to me, it's for you too. I didn't even know this was a thing, but we can feel our way through life. We're guided in very specific ways, and many times we disregard the guidance and we undermine what we know because we don't necessarily trust ourselves. We don't necessarily have the confidence in what we already know. So, all the programs and all the things I do are to empower those who relate to this message, those who want better for themselves and others, those who value feeling, um, and their purpose in the world. So it's funny. I put a thread out there that said, "Tell me your numerology. Tell me your birthday," because you know what? I love numbers. I love numbers. I can digest them. I can tell you things that that without having it go through me and telling you what comes through, it's more pure. This is what the numbers are saying about you. And then you can use that to your benefit along the way. So when I tune into Sophia's question, I get a yes. But I want you to know that the decision is yours and that you have to step into it. And a lot of times when I was first discovering, nearly my whole life, I've been discovering. But when I really got into, okay, what is my guidance telling me? What's my body telling me? Where are we going? And you can get really mental about it, but it's not meant to be mental. It's meant to be an experiential thing. Your body is telling you what the answer is. It's not a plus minus in your head. It's not logical in the least. It's it's not an impulse. It's an expansion versus a backing away. It's a stepping forward, an expansion getting bigger versus ah and you can say that's sort of fear, but distinguishing fear from guidance is another whole topic. So you have to develop and gain confidence in how it feels like to get a yes and what it feels like to get a no. And the only way to really get that and figure it out is to screw it up, is to learn along the way. So there's no such thing as a mistake. It just is what it is. Um, I want to say hello to everybody who is posting. Thank you very much for being here. Um, will it be in my best interest? This is great. To start my own business or search jobs at a company. That one, I don't get a clear yes on your own business, but there's probably like a mix of the two things together that you can accomplish and get to where you need to be. So today's topic is blind spots and discernment. How the heck do we navigate when sometimes we see things happening that are not so wonderful or so great, and we don't know why certain things are happening? We don't know what we've done wrong. Why did I move in this direction? Why was I attracted to this person? Why did I just get lambasted by this situation that I created? I put all of these things into motion. I thought that was the right direction, and here this happened to me. Why did this happen to me? So sometimes it's not clear. And the reason why I went into this more is because I definitely had blind spots. I have seen myself go down many, many, many rabbit holes because I have such a huge personality and such a curious personality. And the moment that I don't get something, I am going right for it because I want to know what that is. I want to taste it. And I say that like there's a psychic part to this, but it's true. I want to know what it is. And once I know what it is, I don't have to go back there again because I know what it is. But my curiosity seems to get the best of me. So, in this blind spot thing, you're going to learn throughout life, and if you don't already know, that you have your best answers. And the only way to get even more answers and more clarity is when you go into it. And you can even ask the question aloud and you get the answers. So, blind spots. How many of you have had times in your life, rose colored glasses? Rose colored glasses. And I don't mean rose as a name, they're rose colored. You see the world the way you want to see the world. You see people the way you want to see them. You see the best in what you look at. And I'm not saying this is a flaw. I'm saying, have you worn rose colored glasses? Do you choose to wear rose colored glasses? Do you ever take off your glasses and take a look at exactly who somebody is? Because a lot of times we will see in other people, we can see all of it, but if you're very heart centered, if you see the potential of somebody, if you see their good side, if you see how exciting they are and how wonderful they are, and you're able to see it despite all the other things that are there, you can see it. Sometimes we can get distracted and not pay attention to the rest of the things that are there because we see their potential. So, discernment is understanding, when do we become blinded by their potential? When do we choose or unintentionally not see parts of them? And I was able to put this together with me as an example. Um, what blinds me? What blinds me? If I see someone that I can help and that has a connection to spirit and that we dance together, really, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. We're having a lot of fun. I sometimes can get lost in that engagement. My blind spot is I get so close to it that it becomes almost consuming. That's a blind spot. It's called an entanglement if you're in the energy world. You become so entangled in what that dance is, you can easily lose yourself, because some of us are able to truly go further in to connect with another person. And when there's so much that you have in common, and there's so much that adds to the flavor of, my God, this is my interest, this is my value. Oh my God, that's your interest, your value. And guess what? We're doing those things together. And guess what? Life is just beyond wonderful until you start to come down to earth to realize that there's more that comes with people. And the closer you get to people, the more of a taste, quote unquote taste, you get of them, the more you see the other sides of people. And everybody has another side. I have another side. I have a very introverted side that certainly I love people, but I love my time by myself. That's where I recharge. That's where I truly step into this really wonderful space. That's how I function. So if I'm around too much commotion, I start to wilt like a flower. I'm like, I'm okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. And then I'll start to wilt. I'm like, so there's a way that we each function, and we need to know what that is. So that blind spot part is important. I wouldn't have actually figured out that blind spot unless I was specifically honing in on what that blind spot really is. So sometimes and often people show you their best side. People show you manipulation here, what you want to see, what they think you want to see. They even can contrive themselves into that for a certain period of time until they have you like, they've got you. They've got you. And you're doing this thing with them. And guess what? The rules will change. And you're like, oh, what happened? We had this perfect thing. Well, I'm here to tell you that you need to be cautious over who you allow that close to you. Because there's always some kind of balance that needs to be established so that you really get to know who somebody else is. Because for a certain period of time, anybody and everybody can maneuver around, change around, be what you want them to be, blah, 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 right? It's not till you have a day in, day out, day in, day out that you really see whether or not that person is truly compatible or good for you, if they are on the same page for you. So I go into this, I want to stay with the blind spots for just one more minute more. So for me, it's a curiosity. I will go down that road. It's you're like my things. You love what I do. We're going down the same path together. Let's hold hands and go down that path together. For a certain period of time, that will work. But really, each of our roads, we're traveling our roads on our own. And if you become dependent on another person to give you blah, 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 whatever that is, and to sing the song with you, then you become dependent. You really want to be able to sing that song right from within you every single day. And to have somebody there is great, but allow them to grow and you to grow without, oh no, you have my hand. You got to go this way. You got to go this way. No, no, no. We allow space in our relationships. So, curiosity, it's a shiny object. I feel so awesome with them. They make me feel like I'm the most lovable, beautiful thing in the world. They tell me all the right things. They butter me up. Those are all like manipulation tactics. Manipulation tactics. So you have to take into account, who is this person? So now we're reading the energy of another person. We're reading their energy. For me, I will look at the outside first. What are they looking like? What are they saying? And that could be a little bit shallow, right? But then I'll go in. What's the tone of their voice? What's the feeling that they give me when I'm talking to them? How heavy or light do they feel to me? Do I enjoy spending my conversation, my time with them? What is this exchange about? What are they talking about? What do they value? What do they prioritize? What kind of words do they use when they talk? And it's not so much the words. You want to look at the charge, the sting, the tone. It's almost like a melody. You want to listen for how someone speaks to you. Because even if somebody is angry or saying things to you that maybe are a little bit, maybe you don't want to hear it. They're critiquing something. They're giving you some kind of feedback on something, and it's not necessarily what you want to hear, but you're listening for how much heart is in this person when they speak. How much heart is there? And it's not just about a bleeding heart, it's how much sense do they make when they speak? What's the tone? What's the vibration? How does it feel to me? Do I trust what they look like innately? Do I trust what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing? Like those are all channels of receiving information. And sometimes, yep, we can get skewed a little bit when we have preconceived ideas maybe about who people are. But the more you become centered with your own heart, the more you'll be able to see when somebody else is speaking from their heart. And then the more you pay attention, the more you'll be able to notice when somebody is manipulating in some way. And then what is your reaction? How are you responding to this manipulation? So, some things to keep in mind is that when something goes awry, it looks like this. It looks like confusion. It looks like projection. You this, you this, you that. I feel, it becomes like a crazy little nightmare of emotions and accusations, and there's no boundary anymore. You lost the boundary. All of a sudden, someone's throwing up on you. They're thinking you're the cause of their problems, and you did this and you did that, and you're not fitting the bill for what they signed up for. Now you really got some problems going on. And especially if you've already sort of committed or fallen in love with someone, you have even more problems going on, because now to leave the situation would be painful for you. It's a bigger thing than it would otherwise be. So keep all this in mind before you commit or you fall in love with someone. You really want to take a look at who they actually are. And I'm going to give you an example. It's so funny because people can woo you very easily, especially if they're intuitive, especially if they know what you're looking for. They can be that for you for a certain period of time, right? Until they're not going to be that. And then all of a sudden you've got a Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You've got something going on here. But you've got to learn to trust your intuition. You've got to learn to step back and take another look. Who is that person? How do they speak about their family? How do they speak about their friends? How do they speak about the world? Are they negative? Are they positive? Are they neutral? Where are they coming from? What's their mojo? What are they about? What dials them in? All right. And important in this whole conversation is, who do you want to be with them? Who are you? What do you want in your life? And I can remember I'm looking at the time, one specific friendship that I had. Amazing friendship. Amazing, right? And we could like skyrocket to the moon. It was so awesome, right? But then slam bang, my God, what just happened? This person is becoming an emotional addiction to me. It's becoming something more than I had anticipated. And guess what? I can fulfill all of their desires and all of their wants, and this is wonderful. But in the back of my mind, can is this realistic? Is this achievable? Is this me? How long can I keep this up for? So you want to be true to yourself always. And in order to do that, you have to know who you are. You have to know, almost like you have to be more down to earth about what it is that you really want in another person. Fun and games is all great. I mean, don't get me wrong, fun and games is really great until fun and games is we need to, look at the work that needs to be done around the house. We need to raise children. We need to discipline. We need this obligation. We have that obligation. I need some downtime. It becomes a game of, does this person support me? Do they allow me to be me? Are they steady enough, sturdy enough, emotionally balanced enough to not take me down this crazy winding river that's going to end up, going over some kind of cliff and all the rest of it? So I'm telling you that because it happens. We're attracted to situation, we're attracted to people for different reasons. There's a big flashy thing going on. We love the way something is, and we adjust and we tweak and we sacrifice parts of ourselves, and even at times lose parts of ourselves. And I know that sounds like an exaggeration, but it's not. If you have been married to the wrong person for 5 or more years and you're done, you're done. You're done. And then you're like, oh my God, what happened to me? It's like you've just been through this washing machine and you're like, you need some place to relax and dry and get back into a form of who you are again. So I have the most humble respect for all those situations because they're all there for a purpose and a reason. And it's not just for you to learn, it's for you to stand your ground. It's for them to learn. When you stand your ground, what does that look like? So it's like this attraction magnet with another person. And don't ever regret something, because every single step is a step towards you becoming more authentically you than you were before. So all of this teaching here is to bring your attention to, we have blind spots. And what do they look like? What do they look like for you? So I want you at this point in time to write, comment, what is 1, 2, or 3 of your blind spots? You've got to know what they are. Maybe you write about them later, you go into it more, but something drew you in. And the moment you figure out what that something was, it will never, ever, ever, ever happen again for you. Sometimes we're drawn into things because we're looking for love. They offered us love. They offered us stability. So we took that and we went without looking at the whole picture. And maybe that was right at that time, but as you go forward, you're not just going to blindly go into things. And maybe you will at certain points, right? So it's never a done deal. Sometimes it's just natural we're going to go that direction. Other times, before you really take a concrete, let me marry you, let me be, with you, let me commit to this, beware, look again, step back. People really do hide the lesser, heavier, darker sides of them because they're not attractive. They're not attractive but they can't hide them forever. They can't hide them. They're there. So if you really step back, give it some time, you'll be able to see it. And one of the big things I did that I thought was amazing, I don't know how I was so smart at the age of 27 back when I got engaged to my husband. Before I got engaged, we were dating 6 months. I said, guess what? We're going away on a weekend. I'm going to see if I can stand you for 2 or 3 days when it's just you and me, and I'm going to get to see what we are, who we are, how we do together. And that, my friends, was a really, really good thing because I am not the kind of person that can really handle most people for any length of time. Like I can handle people, but if you're with someone day in and day out for 3 days, you better get along with them. And if you're going to spend the rest of your life with someone, you better be able to spend 3 days with them. And in that way, they can't hide parts of themselves because you're with them all the time. And you get to see what they are. And you get to see their emotional state. That's huge, the emotional thing. If they're negative, if they're up, they're down, and they're up, then they're down. That's not fun. I'm just telling you. So I hope you learned something from this. Please don't hesitate. Send me a friend request. Follow me on Facebook. Find my group. Sign up for the webinar. I'm a member here and in the Standout community. So I look forward to getting to know you better. I do private sessions, a program, different webinars that are really more wellness oriented, emotional oriented for organizations. So if that's something that you're interested in, let me know. My email is michelle@empathevolution.com. Have a great day. Thanks.